Hello, indeed. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Midwest Championship Series. We got some more Rocket League action for you. I mean, Tybal's going to tackle you through this first series. It should be a blast. I'm going to make things pretty quick as we possibly can. Got to lower the music in my ears because it's a little loud, but regardless, Tybal's excited for another week of premiere. It's week one, so it's still fairly early.
Yeah, very early. Earliest it could be. But today, well, the first series at least today, we got the Lumberjacks.
Lumberloons.
The Lumberjacks. the Lumberjacks. And then the Derechos. I want to say it like how JTV says it.
The
like,
Derechos.
The Derechos. So, like,
he's got such an accent on it.
Yeah, I know. I love it. But yeah, two new rosters for these franchises for Premiere. Bryant, the leading man on the Derechos there, and then Sauce, the leading man for Bemidji. I don't know much about Sauce. I do know about Bryant. He's a previous MCS winner.
Won last season, defending champ.
Last season, yep, yeah. So this should be a great match.
Indeed, a defending champ teaming up with a player he took out on LAN, and Wolf. He just decided, well, what in the heck? I might as well just pick him up, see if I can win with him. So that's exactly the plan. Can't beat him, join him. As we're going to jump into this first series, already into game number one. Lumberjacks Derecho, best of 5. Should be an interesting series nonetheless. But Lumberjacks in blue, Derecho in orange. And like we talked about, Brian and Wolf teaming up. They were against each other last season. And Nate was there picking the third round, and they felt like Nate was underrated as Bryant gets the demo on the back line. Wolf has a free open net, and look at the pass play coming out from the Derecho right away.
I keep getting bamboozled by this because Nate, I think of Nate, it's Nate. I'm sorry, Nate. You are a different person. You are your own individual and a great player because you're in Premiere. So I'm sorry for that. I will remember that you are two different people. But yeah, early goal from Wolf. I was going to say early goal from Swift, but not quite. Sauce getting bumped away by Wolf as well. And I'm excited for Wolf to, really make his mark in Premiere. He's been one of the top challenger players for so long. Has a lot of experience in MCS and now has a chance to prove it.
And obviously Sauce, the high pick. I believe Lumberjacks were number 2 pick. They were indeed because Chicago was first. They went with a different player. But Sauce, the number 2 pick on the board. Ended up getting Gavalanche in the second round. Obviously, that second round pick, Tybal's coming in super late, so your numbers are going to be running thin for who you want to select. But they pick up Swift third round. Swift, somebody that Sauce knew, so seems like a team of chemistry somewhat. But we'll see what we get out of Gavalanche in this series. Really, the big question mark for me has shown flashes of brilliance in Challenger last season, and now this season gets put into Premiere and is going to have his work cut out for him in this first series, playing 2 players who made LAN last season.
Yeah, and it's always interesting for challenger players trying to work their way up because, like Wolf, case in point, he's been grinding the game for so long, been in challenger for a long time, now finally getting his chance as GM, and he definitely deserves the spot in my opinion. But for someone to make the jump like that, it's such a rare event to happen. That, a lot of times it's either, wow, no way, they can make it in Premiere, or, okay, it didn't quite go as well for them as, maybe we had thought. I'm hoping for the best for Gavalanche. I really think that he has the chops to do it. I think he has the skill to do it, but we will have to see what comes out of this one right here. This is a great spot to start. Nate will put one in, though. Not good news.
And that is not a good play out of the Lumberjacks as they get the double commit on the back line. Swift not trusting Gavalanche's touch, and as a result, you see what happens. The double commit comes out, and it's a free open net for Nate, who puts in the second for Des Moines as Wolf found the first. But I'm still interested to see. I mean, it is week 1, Tibble, so you got to give teams the benefit of the doubt of they're still working out the kinks of how they want to play with each other. But still looking to see what this Lumberjacks offense can look like. Can they put something together? But so far, Des Moines looks like a well-oiled machine. I have seen them scrim, played against them in scrims, and they have been some of the most active players so far in the league, playing quite a bit. So they're definitely ready for this matchup.
And that's really important too, because there's an MCS playstyle, you could say. I've heard it a lot from Premier players in the past. So if you're that active, that's great news for you. But hopefully for the Des Moines derecho, they're trying to get something started here with Bryant and Wolf. Bryant will get it downfield. Almost had Nate run into him. Swift trying to come across. An awkward save from Gavalanche. It's just too awkward for Sauce, and Nate will put it through. Or Wolf. Wolf will put it through.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter who's putting it through tools. Somebody right. In the Des Moines derecho is going to find a follow-up on that open net. So Sauce, good first touch off the kickoff. Going to follow it up. Maybe one over the top of Nate, but Nate shuts it down. Good challenge from him. Doesn't have any boost to follow up. Wolf, see the patience that they're taking. It's good to see that Des Moines is not, sitting back. Like, a couple of these players are known for to be that defensive third man, the person to sit and really hold down the back line. I don't know much about Nate, but to me, Wolf and Brian have always kind of been those two players you find on a roster that are good when you give them space on the back end of the line. But a minute and a half to go, and Lumberjacks have not found the back of the net just yet. When is that spark going to come? Because the train eventually is going to find the tracks. It's just going to depend on how fast that train is going to end up going. Maybe they pick up some speed here, Tibbles, at the end of this game one.
Yeah, we'll have to see. 3-0 lead for the derecho. They're coming out fast. They're coming out strong. Sauce downfield immediately gets demoed as well. I didn't quite see who it was. Possibly Wolf retreating on that one. Wolf now off the wall. Or no, Nate. No second touch from him. Back to Wolf in the back corner. Zero boost, though. Derecho having to do some defense. Now Bryant, the main player for them. Flip reset. We'll get it past another one. Might just be in, but Sauce has that save. Still in the corner. Sauce to get it out. Nate to the midfield. Again, Sauce kind of getting into the way of the ball there. The play that for Bemidji, they were trying to go for Wolf with another shot. Bryant will just leave it for his teammate, and derecho are dominating.
And this is Sauce's touch, just gets away from him, and he can't follow up to the second. Has absolutely no boost to work with. So I think that it overall is going to require a reversal of decision making for the Lumberjacks, as they've been caught out a couple times by the derecho. Good flip reset from Sauce to get over one, but I mean, he's doing pretty well, but his teammates are not giving him too much support on the back end. But it's been Des Moines who've been playing super good Rocket League in this first set of game one. They have not looked like they've wavered on the defensive line, shutting out Bemidji, but it'll be interesting to see what we get. That's a good bump from Sauce, and you maybe get the train back on the tracks for game one a little bit, Tibbles, as you get one with 14 seconds.
I love how Swift makes Nate awkward and then just absolutely obliterates Bryant in the goal. I mean, yeah, that bump left Bryant completely helpless. No way he's getting back to that. Unfortunately, Bemidji are a little bit helpless in the rest of game one as well. It's very unlikely they will come back on this one. Possibly get one for the road. Might be for the derecho instead. Bryant grazing off that one. A little bit too high for Swift to follow up. Nate Wolf collaborating on this one to get it back to that wall. Miss from Sauce. Wolf downfield. Maybe to the corner. Might get one for the road. Won't find that touch, though. And derecho, pretty convincingly, I would say, will take game one.
Yeah, it was controlled all the way to the end. It was pretty obvious as to who was going to take that home, Tibbles. It was not going to be anybody else but the Des Moines derecho. So looking at them to continue on what they've been doing in this series so far, and that's been really the offensive structure that they've had, but not only the ability to keep the ball close to them and not throw it away. And Des Moines looked really good to start off this series, Tibbles. I'm honestly excited to see what we get from them the rest of the way through. But Bemidji, a flash of brilliance at the end, but didn't really show much else. Are you as concerned as I am for this game too? I mean, I'm a little concerned that the offense might not be there.
I'm going to say that it's on the derecho a lot. If you saw the scoreboard before Wolf left the game, their scoreboard is just so satisfying. Wolf had, I believe it was 3 goals. He had a hat trick, 750 points. I think he had 3 saves as well. Trying to remember. 4 assists for the second player, a goal for the third as well. I think Des Moines are just putting on, such a good performance here. And a little bit quiet from Bemidji. Yeah, no, I will admit that. I will say that, starting a little bit slower than possibly they had planned to. But I think that they can recover from this as long as they can kind of stifle the performances that Derecho had, because they had assists flying all over the place. They had goals going in, shots flying in. I mean, they were just really controlling the ball, like you said. It was a controlled performance. They look chill. They look calm. Wolf, I really like how he's performing. He's kind of the fast, the prominent player who's trying to really put pressure on Bemidji here. Bemidji have to deal with that pressure. They didn't deal with it very well in game 1, so we'll have to see how they improve.
Indeed, and now going into this game number 2, obviously you can wonder what we're going to see possibly the Des Moines derecho, but I think that overall it's got to continue. It's got to be the same, offensive foot that they've been putting forward. It'll be important for them to keep their feet under them, the feet that they've already developed, because you don't want to give up an easy one, and you kind of do as Avalanche gets the first, and we're not even 40 seconds into this second game.
Yeah, and that pass, I like the idea as well. I think the flip reset attempt from Sauce, but it does connect with another player on the defense for the derecho, which allows that pass to go to Avalanche. And, all credit to him, he scored the goal, and that's great, but maybe not a little bit more artificial than I think Bemidji meant for it to be. But they're not going to mind. That's a first goal for them in this game as well. So moving forward, Nate collecting this one. Sauce will take over it instead. Nate all over them. Bryant as well. And I think that's what derecho do so well. When Bemidji has the ball, they are badgered. They are bothered. They're getting, hit around, bumped around. Whatever derecho can do to get them off the ball and awkward.
Minute into this game number 2, and it's going to be Des Moines on the offense. Not a ton of booster. Avalanche going to have to sit behind the ball to get a decent 50-50. Is able to do that, but you have to wonder what's got to change for Des Moines to get on the board in this second game. They've been shut out for the first minute, but it's only been a minute, so you have to think that eventually they're going to find some sort of a chance as Nate gets a demo on the front line. Bryant going to commit in, but there's Avalanche right behind it, and it's a good setup. He's got 80 boost to work with. He's just going to choose to air dribble it. Nate on the turn, shuts it down immediately. Swift towards the net, though. He catches Des Moines with their hand in the cookie jar, and you can't do that because Bemidji is going to punish you for it.
That makes me think of I love that saying that Ernie always says. It's like up in the top shelf where grandma hides the cookies or
grandma hides the peanut butter.
I love it so much. That made me laugh.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
But no, Bemidji really fighting back in this one. Yeah, as I say that, derecho will get one back. Wolf, courtesy of him, kind of a bad 50 on Sauce's part. It goes right into the middle, and nobody's there to cover it.
And yeah, it's I would say more of a not necessarily a bad 50. Well, I guess you could say a bad 50. It's kind of a unlucky turn from Sauce.
Yeah.
He was looking for a better touch than he got, and he just doesn't have a ton of boost to work with. A lot of the time you've been seeing he's been the player who's been starving for things, but I still got 3 minutes left, and Bemidji still with the one goal advantage. They were up by 2, so that lead only cut in half. Not necessarily tied just yet, but this game has slowed down a ton, and nobody really wants to give up any sort of field position. Everyone kind of sitting and waiting and hoping they get some boost, because that will determine who's going to be working through their offensive chances a little bit quicker than anyone. But it's still in this Lumberjacks half, and it's Des Moines on the press, breaking down the Bemidji Lumberjacks defense, just as they did in the first game, and looking to do it again, but they haven't found their way quite in. As this game halfway over, great pre-jump from Avalanche. Just Bryant finds the kind of a recovery off the ceiling doubles, and nearly found the back of the net off that.
Yeah, I like that read that Sauce had too. You can kind of sense that the confidence is growing there. He basically read Bryant's pass, cut it out perfectly, got it downfield. Derecho will return the favor now. The miss from Avalanche could be awkward, actually. Nate Wolf bumping Sauce as well. Wait, did Nate miss? Fake, backflip, and then turn back on from the bump from Wolf? Yeah, no, he just backflipped, made sure he could get back to the ball, and scored it.
And it's a great individual play from Wolf, as this is going to be a a definite problem for this Lumberjacks team to deal with as they get a double off the backboard. Sauce towards the net. He kind of weak touches it. It doesn't get a ton on it as Nate's just going to clear it all the way down the field. May have caught Bemidji too far forward, but Sauce is able to recover. Good touch from Bryant as Wolf's there again for the follow-up. And this dynamic two-man play that Bryant and Wolf have started to put together is becoming dangerous for Bemidji to deal with. And it's a lot of the time it's Wolf on the follow-up as Sauce. Good first touch. Maybe a foot reset to cap it off, but doesn't have any boost to follow up. And that for me has been the theme so far, is limiting Sauce's ability to be on the ball when he has some chances. But this game's still even, Tibbles, and tied at 2, and we're in game 2, so it only makes sense for us to be at a 2-2 score line.
Yeah, no, it does. This game is a lot more even than the first one was. Derecho kind of dominated. As I say that, Bryant shot on target. This one is saved away. Sauce now in the air. I like the speed that they have, and Swift will take over the ball in the corner. Back to Wolf. Has a chance to counterattack on this one. As Bryant in the middle. Bryant will opt to negotiate that one instead over to Wolf. Swift will beat him to it, though. And I like the speed that Bemidji are working at, because it's allowing them so much more space. Maybe a shot from Sauce will be saved away. Back to Nate in the corner. Time to carry this one out. Back to the midfield. Over to Sauce. Now downfield. Wolf will have to make that save. And Derecho looking a little bit less consistent. A little bit less solid on defense this time around.
Only 15 seconds left. It's in this Bemidji side. Bryant off the ceiling. Trying to find something. Avalanche towards the net. They catch him out. Wolf just able to get back in time, as that could have been a game for the Lumberjacks if they were able to steal it. They still can. Sauce towards the net. It's saved again by Wolf, as there's only 0 seconds to play as Nate over 1. Sauce is there to collect it, and both teams sending a little bit of prodding messages towards each other as they are able to shut down the 0-second chances as Swift over the top of Bryant. 50-50s Wolf, and Wolf again is there able to turn it away. Has 4 saves on this game. Sauce to the backboard for Gavalanche, but Bryant had the confidence, waited on it. Swift, though, with a huge play, cuts out 2 defenders for the Derecho as Nate has to make a touch, cannot, but Bryant has his back covered. And it's a couple chances early for the Lumberjacks to put this game to bed. They led the entire way. It would be a gut punch if they can't put this one into the win column.
It absolutely would be, and Sauce is trying to make that happen. Gavalanche with that redirect. Looked like it was going top left corner as well. Back down to the mid, over to Wolf. We'll get that one out. Over to Bryant. The redirect coming through. It's off target, though. Redirect's a piece, but both of them saved away. Bemidji having to do some defense. They were in Derecho's half for so long out of this overtime so far. And I got to shout out Wolf, because the saves he's had has been absolutely ridiculous. You know, I'm talking about that one. What a save again for Bemidji. Oh, they had the possession. They had the domination for overtime, but it's actually them who concede in game 2.
And Nate, falling on the ball, puts every ounce of weight into it, is able to punch it through as the 50-50 goes right out to Bryant. Bryant gonna pick that right side, put it in the back of the net, and Des Moines with a quick 2-0 advantage over the side of the Lumberjacks. And now, Tibbles, I'm not sure if the Lumberjacks were ready for this. If they were seeing the Derecho come out so clean and so quick on this game. Yeah, it's very interesting that we see why the Lumberjacks lost this game, but it was such a small thing that small things, excuse me, that prevented them from winning. Again, it's only week 1, so we're still working out the kinks, but Des Moines looked like a well-oiled machine so far.
I have a game plan for Bemidji.
I want to hear this game plan.
It's very simple. Easier said than done, but it's simple. Shut down Wolf. That for Bemidji, if you're listening, that's what I want you to do this next game. Shut down Wolf. Whatever you can do. Make him awkward. Bump him. Remove him from the field. Whatever you need to do, because game 1 he scored a hat trick. He had 750 points. He had the most points on Derecho for game 1. Second game, again, he had the most points for derecho in game 2. You know why? Because he was a defensive behemoth. He would not let the ball through. He had 4 saves. I mean, there you go. Thank you, Sauce. Thank you for scoring 2 seconds in for Bemidji. Wolf, that is your goal. You need to shut him down because he is going off.
Wolf is having a good series, and Brian is. I think all 3 of them are playing well. But Wolf, has been the menace on the back line to shut down a lot of the offensive chances. And now we see Bemidji on a lead, 3 seconds in, Sauce off the kickoff. They're again having kickoff games. Is going to get the touch. Sauce will look to play over Nate, but Nate again to meet it has been good on the challenge game and is able to press as once again Des Moines on their back line. Down 1 though this time as Sauce gets 1 more touch, but it kind of gets away from him, and the commit from the Lumberjacks will result in a counterattack, a 2-on-1 on Gavalanche. He won't make contact on it. Bryant is going to commit through, but won't have any more touches. Gavalanche will have an open net, kind of, but Wolf was sitting in the lane and was able to find his way back. Gets 1 more touch, dunked by Swift. It's off the backboard, and Lumberjacks getting a couple chances here. Gavalanche double. It's saved again by Bryant. Is Des Moines, that I talked about the defensive stature that 2 of their players have, but Nate has shown he's a good, solid challenge game player too. So I would say that the Des Moines derecho are playing some very, very solid defense so far in the season.
Yeah, but I see positives for Bemidji. I mean, there was a demo in there. Oh, it's a little bit awkward for Nate. Brian will get the hit instead. They did have a demo in there on derecho's defensive half, and what it allowed them to do was make them awkward because Wolf spawned back right, and then all 3 of them for the derecho were in the same spot. They figured it out, right? They have the rotation ability to figure that one out. But if it was a little bit different, had Bemidji been shooting that on goal at that time, it would have been awkward. It could have been an opportunity. And I want them to repeat that. They demoed Wolf, and suddenly chances opened up for them. And that's really what they need to focus on, because he just seems to be there every time to make the save. Every time they have a shot, he's there to make the save. And they have shots. They have pressure. I mean, look at them right now. They're camping. They were camping in the derecho half, but they need to take advantage of it. And with Wolf on the field, that is much, much harder. Avalanche now with a shot. Will be over to Sauce. Gets the demo as well. Back for the derecho. Over for Nate to try and get a hand on that. He does. Sauce having to get back on the backboard for that. Has a minimal boost. Will fake it instead. Gavalanche awkward. Now back in the corner. Wolf getting bumped by his teammate up to the ceiling. Can Bryant get anything on this one? It's off the backboard.
Hello?
But easy for Bemidji. They can get back to that one. No one is there for it. And they really survive. Oh, they survived that one too. Now derecho's time to take some shots on the Bemidji half.
Maybe Gavalanche. He lines up a pass over to Swift. Maybe back. It's just just determines to shoot it. I don't know if I like that decision from Swift. Maybe he liked another touch there, maybe to his teammates. I don't know. It was Gavalanche who had no boost in this situation, Tibble. So I guess Swift's decision was based on Gavalanche confirming in comms that he cannot follow up on the ball. So it's going to still stay at a 1-goal advantage for the Lumberjacks. Des Moines, though, they want to press, get this series done and dusted in a 3-0 sweep, but Bemidji has a rebuttal in this game 3 so far, have kept them off the scoreboard, and have only gotten better on that offensive end, and you've seen more and more chances for the Lumberjacks that are shut down by derecho defenders. And you have to think eventually Bemidji is going to start to line up their shots. A great pass from Wolf. Finds Nate. Sauce has to make the save and does turn it away. Brian again off the backboard. Sauce again to turn it away. His full boost. Flip reset. Full field. Will be stopped by Nate as Gavalanche, a good first touch, will force Bryant to burn about 30 boost. As Wolf, with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, is in a 1-on-1, but is shut down by Sauce again, as he has been the primary defender for the Lumberjacks to shut down a lot of the chances that Des Moines has been pressing on.
Yeah, they absolutely have. I think Bemidji is just missing that final puzzle piece. They get to the third half that the derecho have their home base on, and maybe they get passes together, maybe they get a shot, but look at that. You know, it's in their half, but derecho looks so calm now. Bryant has all the boost in the world. That's a great challenge, though. Wolf having to reverse back into his own goal. Thankfully for him, no shot was coming in. Gavalanche demo on him. Over to Sauce, back to the right side. Nate and Bryant chasing this one. Good touch for Sauce, but then they follow up. Back to Bryant. Air dribble opportunity. Swift will get there first, but Sauce and Gavalanche are so far away. Easy touch for Nate. Bryant off the wall. Over to Sauce now. That's a big clear. Wolf has to get back to this one. A big miss coming through. Sauce, the bump comes through. Wolf does make the save again, trying to protect that lead that Bemidji have, taking shots on the derecho goal. But 10 seconds now. They might well get one for the road, get one through, try to protect that lead, to protect this win that they want to get so badly. Back to Nate and Wolf in that derecho corner. They have to keep it up now to try and get a goal, a shot, even at all. Wolf now, if anyone, it's going to be him. Over to Nate. He can't get there, and Lumberjacks will take the game.
And the Lumberjacks do have life in this series as they are able to get that illustrious win at the end, and they're able to put one to bed as we will go to a fourth game, as this series is 2-1 and still in favor of Des Moines. Still have another chance of putting this game to bed and winning this series in 5, but I still think, or in 4, excuse me, but I still think overall that this is Des Moines' series to lose, but they had to make a ton of saves, and you can see it. 5 from Bryant, 3 from Wolf, and 1 from Nate. Not a ton of shots either. 4 only on the side of the Lumberjacks. But
yep.
Yeah, no, Gavalanche has 4 shots. Sauce has 5, and Swift has 3. So
yeah.
Yeah, about as many chances as you could possibly want, Tibbles, for the Lumberjacks to score. They only found one goal, excuse me, and it was all they needed though, because they kept Des Moines off the scoreboard, and that's what they hadn't done in the previous 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going to point that out as well, and thank you, Bubbly, for pointing out how many shots Lumberjacks had that game compared to the derecho. Derecho with a lot of saves, but I don't think that tells the story of the game. A lot of those shots, I was never really like, whoa, derecho are really in trouble here. They're really going to concede. I think they're going to score another one for the Bemidji Lumberjacks. It wasn't that scary for the derecho. Sure, they had a lot of saves. Sure, Lumberjacks had a lot of shots, a ridiculous amount of shots, but I never felt like, wow, they're really in trouble here for the derecho. Of course, they did lose the game. They did concede 1 goal. And Bemidji were able to hang on and even, put some pressure on at the end, try to, bolster that lead that they had. But I still think they have to do better. I still think I'm looking for more creativity. I'm looking for them to change up the status quo a little bit. And before, Stewie, I talked a little bit about how demos on the derecho, specifically on Wolf, have helped them so much. It can make them awkward, give them space, give them opportunity so that they can put a threatening shot on goal. I've only seen a couple of those in last game, and they actually were effective when they happened, but I'm looking for more. I think they have to do more to try and shut down the derecho, because Bemidji, you can see their efforts. You can see how many shots they have, their offensive prowess, but they need to be doing more in the final third and that final shot.
I think Des Moines really found a lot of gaps in the Lumberjacks defense in that first 2 games, and then in the third game, the Lumberjacks kind of closed up a lot of those chances and really shut down a lot of the things that the derecho were getting before. So. And Des Moines can't really rely on that. Now it's got to be outplays. Now it's got to be passing plays. It's got to be shots that go to the top corner. You got to shoot with intent, because it's these mistakes by the Lumberjacks are not appearing anymore. So
yep.
Now it's time to change your fortune. If you are the derechos, you're going to try and put this series to bed, Tibbles, as we are going to hop into this game number 4. Des Moines still on match point, still ready to put this one done, but they cannot find the win column if they can't beat Bemidji one more time. But Bemidji have life, at least. They show that they can win a game in that last one, Tibbles. Now they got to do it again.
And for the mark between good teams and great teams, right? There's a lot of players who thought, or they'll say they want to talk a little trash. They want to talk a little bit in the chat, and they say, well, we would have had you, but we couldn't close out the series. If you're a great team, if you're going to prove that you're a great team, you need to close out the series. And for the derecho, preferably as soon as possible, preferably in this game. Bemidji, they're going to have a good start for this, not a good start for derecho, and the dreams they had for this series, not quite panning out as well as they hoped.
Yeah, Nate kind of gets caught as third man. It was actually a beat in the midfield as Nate was a little bit too close to that second man player. And I will always believe that the mark between a good team and a great team is how different it is between teams keeping themselves in a series. A team that is the great team is the hardest team to sweep. It seems like when they go down and their backs against the wall, they show their resilience and they start winning games. But a normal good team obviously would take the sweep. But I still think that this Bemidji's team has more than what they've shown us so far. As Sauce lines up a reset, that's on target as Bryant can't save it. Sauce kind of ping pongs the ball between his car. He recovers off the ceiling, and that scoop he got was a lot harder than Bryant was thinking.
That was unreal. I love the little like a wheel touch in the air. The waiting on the flip reset just a little bit to get past Wolf and then smashing it into the goal past Bryant. I love that play so much. And that's what I was looking for, right? That was the magic, the creativity that I was looking for. And yes, it's coming off of a solo play, but you know, your main player, Sus, coming through, maybe that's what you need at times to get through a series. They now have a 2-0 lead where after game 1 and game 2, it didn't look as well as they had hoped, but now they are rolling, they are rocking. Looking to keep that possession now, and looking to break out of their half. Plenty of boost for Sauce. Flip reset, scoops it up yet again. Nate will have the save, though.
It seems like, we're obviously seeing the debut of Sauce, but it seems like he might be added to the list of another player where it just seems like when these guys look for a reset, they're getting it every single time. It seems like when they scoop the ball underneath their car, it is a confirmed reset, as he's looked very good in this series so far, but obviously still his teammates still a bit quiet. But Gavalanche has had a couple sparks of brilliance, some chances himself, but Sauce pretty much willing his team to a game number 4. But now in game number 4, it's all three of his teammates stepping up, all three of the Lumberjacks, stepping up, and now they got a 2-0 advantage, and this game halfway done. Tibbles and Des Moines, it just seems like they have not had a chance to score as Bryant lining up a double. Can't find it. Nate just fires it right at Swift, and Swift is able to just put it away as Sauce may have caught him out again. Sitting behind the 50-50. It won't go his way. It'll go Bryant's way, who has had to make some saves in this series. Same with Wolf. Tibbles, we've seen a lot of Des Moines defense being shown, and that's always a good thing, but it's not always a good thing, as it means they're being pressed, they're being challenged in this series.
That would have been really funny if Brian scored that double tap as you're talking about how they haven't had any opportunities. But instead, he's just going to get a bump or triple. Yeah,
just do that. It's better than a double, right? As Bryant lines up the bump on Swift, just sits behind it, gets in front of it with the last remaining portion of his boost, cuts the lead in half at 1:41. Tibbles, Des Moines trying to come back down 2-0 and end this series in 4, but Bemidji once again hold the lead, and they got to do it for just under 2 minutes. Brian, a little floater shot, didn't get a ton on it, as Sauce has the clear, will be demoed by Nate for his efforts, as Wolf pop air dribble, a ton of boost to work with, lining up a double, but Sauce is there on the respawn to clear it away. And that's one thing that Bemidji has shown well, is their backboard defense. Tibbles has looked good. They've done a good job of shutting down a lot of the chances that Des Moines is putting on them. But honestly, Tibbles, I have high faith in this Des Moines roster. I had them ranked pretty high at the beginning of the season just because of how the team composition is, but their structure, and also the fact that they have 2 players who were in the top 3 last season for LAN teams. So you have to think that they're a lock for the top 8.
Yeah, and
whoa.
Okay, all right. Caught my breath a little bit. I thought Swift was going to pop off there, and he almost did. But what I was going to say was, Wolf, all right, Gavalanche, all right, I see you. But Wolf, I think he just he's similar to Dicey, where he can create a team around himself. You know, I feel like whenever he's on a team, they just work so well with him and his play style. I'm seeing that here with the derecho, but unfortunately for them, they're still looking for a goal with about 15 seconds left. Nate will have a touch there. Bryant to put that one through. Sauce will turn around back on the ball. We'll carry this one out. Nate's the last one back. Thankfully for them, Bryant did make his way back. 5 seconds, though, has to make the save and cross the field. Wolf still with the ball. As Nate to the right will go for the demo. It will not matter because of the demo on the attacker. And Lumberjacks will take game 4. Stewie, we got a game 5, man.
Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? In the first series of the day, it is going to go to 5. Champions Field is going to be upon us as we will hit the 5th game in this series. And honestly, that is not what I was expecting at all. I really honestly, after those first 2 games, Des Moines was in full control of this series, Tibbles. They had everything going for them. And honestly, I thought it was done and dusted. It really did. I thought that overall it was going to be Des Moines series to lose, and so far they've given up 2 straight games to the Lumberjacks, who have won, you know, really close games, Tibbles, but at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win is a win.
Yeah, Wolf was really kept quiet that game. I mean, looking at his point, double digits. Didn't have any goals, no saves. And I'm not saying that he's playing bad. I really think that Bemidji took it to the derecho and shut him down because he was their main output of offense for game 1. He was their main output of defense for game 2. And I think Bemidji heard my call because they are shutting him down now, not allowing him to perform at the level that we know he can and that he performed at in game 1 and game 2. So game 5, either derecho come back and realize, all right, this is our last chance. We only had to win 1 more. We had 3 chances. 2 are gone. This is the last one. You gotta fix that. And for Bemidji, keep doing what you're doing.
Definitely keep shutting down this Des Moines offense, as they kept him to 1 goal in the past 2 games, Tibbles. So really shutting down whatever chances that Des Moines has been putting through. As Wolf trying to line up a pass to Nate in the front half of the box. Bryant, the bump comes out from Nate as that's going to fall all the way down. Bryant has the first in game 5, and it was the bump on from Nate on the back line. He finds Gavalanche and gives him a little up tap.
Yeah, that was just enough to put Gavalanche on, and even with that, it would have been a tough save with Bryant coming in like a hound. You know, he smelled blood in the water. As soon as that bump happened, it was so difficult for Gavalanche to recover. And I think that's what derecho needed. They needed to get that goal, settle back in. All right, we got this. You know what? We took the first 2 games for a reason. We performed to our standard, and that's why we took those 2 games. You got to bring that back in game 5. They might just do that with that shot downfield. Sauce, save from him. Over to Gavalanche, all the way back up. Will be demoed for his efforts there. Bryant got the save. Back to the derecho corner. Wolf, the danger man from game 1. What can he do here? Attempt pass to Nate, but Gavalanche will cut it out. Bryant's still in the midfield, though. Over the Wolf. We'll leave it for him. Off the backboard. That could be an open net for Nate. Gavalanche barely gets back in time, and that could have been another one for the derecho.
That should have been another one for the derecho. Gavalanche scrambling back towards his net. And that was testing for sure, as they're looking for that 2-0 advantage will be huge. Sauce far side, it's saved away by Wolf, as he is going to keep this game up 1 in his favor, but definitely got to lock in for this game number 5, as Sauce can't get it, as Gavalanche required to hit one will be dunked by Wolf on the front half of his box, as there's 3 minutes left still in this game 5. A monster clear from Gavalanche, and Wolf has to recover to it. Is able to do exactly that. A great catch and a great individual play from a player who's seen a lot of MCS experience and is definitely showing it here in this game number 5.
Absolutely is. Great save from Sauce to get that one out. Over the midfield, Nate will have time off the bump. Gavalanche there for the challenge. Bemidji still looking for that tying goal as we approach halftime here in game 5. Gavalanche turn around, back on the ball. We'll just send it forward. Bryant to receive in the air. Flip reset from him. Sauce patient though, gets it past 1. Big 50 from Nate. Over to Swift off the wall. Wolf there, trying to get that one to the middle. Gavalanche again. These challenges from Gavalanche have just been so good. You know, whether it's on the back line, whether it's in the midfield to give himself a better position on the ball. Either way, I'm really impressed by what he's been doing, but I'm looking for that offensive structure that he, almost had on that play right there. Sauce with the second touch through. A little bit of a double commit from Derecho here. Could be time for Bemidji to strike, but awkward. Nate will get that one out. Back to Sauce, and he's the last one back. He'll have to retreat.
2 minutes left, and Sauce going to collect that corner boost. Avalanche going to wait on it. Full boost, but doesn't make contact on the ball. Now is scrambling to get something. As the shot is going to come out from Bryant, the save is made by Avalanche. Avalanche has to make one more touch and does, but it's right to Wolf, who is going to have an infield pass. Nate is there. He hits the bar. Sauce does get Goomba, though, off of Nate, as Nate's going to bump him in a 2-0 advantage for the Des Moines Derecho.
Nate, that touch up, gets the bump as well. Just falls on Sauce there. He can't do anything about it. And Derecho realizing that if you just make Bemidji awkward, if you just make it almost impossible to make the save, what are they going to do? I mean, really, you got it right there. That's the play you wanted. Right now, could make another one. Wolf both there for it. How does that not go in, Stewie?
They both miss it. Sauce now the counterattack. Full possession. Doesn't have any boost. The recovery from him, though, is ridiculous, as he's able to keep the possession somehow for the Lumberjacks. And I have no idea how we're not staring down a 3-0 advantage for the Des Moines Derecho. That was two separate players who had the ball dropping to them. No one makes contact, and Swift wasn't even getting it. He wasn't even getting to it. So I mean, it's just that just does not happen. As the touch is going to go towards the net, 50 seconds left. Time is not on the side of the Lumberjacks, as Brian has an open net. Will get the third one regardless. And the Lumberjacks working for a reverse sweep. They do all this work, Dibbles, to get to 5. And they likely are going to squander it.
Yeah, I want to shout out that pass from Nate, because you know what? I haven't talked about him. I haven't complimented him, specifically this series. But that pass where he just tossed it down to Bryant, where he finished it off for the third goal, looked so casual. I love how confident this Derecho team is. And Bemidji are trying their best, right? They brought it to Game 5, trying to score. They still have 0 goals on the board for Game 5. And trying to get it out. They got to pass one there. But can they follow up on it? No. Nate is there for the clear. Gets it past one. No, Avalanche will get one on target, and they do get it out. And Derecho, these past few games have been a little bit messy. It hasn't been as clean as it was in Game 1 and Game 2. But 10 seconds left, and they're looking to take Game 5 here. Sauce flip reset, maybe one to give them a chance. 5 seconds,
no
Stewie.
way.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No way.
But maybe.
I mean, you have to have 2 ridiculous kickoffs, as that was an insane pass from Sauce. Avalanche a better shot, as there is 5 seconds left. There is no way that the Lumberjacks can come back. I am completely doubting this, as they kind of win the kickoff. Sauce, though, is going to run out of time. We'll have a flick on target, but even then, the Des Moines Derecho scored 3. They didn't score 2. Reverse sweep denied, as the Derecho will get this one done in 5. And, I mean, Tibbles, yeah, it's a win, but a win is a win. But at the same time, that was not a very clean win from the Derecho.
Yeah, and I really had high hopes for them after Game 1 and Game 2. I thought, they did really, really well. Wolf, of course, the leading man there. But it's tough, because the dominating teams in a certain league, they will not give up maybe they'll give up Game 3, right? And they'll beat you 3-1. But they probably won't, leave Game 4 up for grabs like Derecho did here. Bemidji gobbled that up, said thank you very much, went to Game 5. Tried their best and almost came back, but too little too late. Derecho will take the victory, and yeah, I think they have a lot to work on, but I'm really excited for the future of this team.
I am too. I'm excited to see what we get out of the Lumberjacks too. They showed really some good flashes, especially from Sauce, obviously the number 2 pick.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's kind of nuts, not gonna lie. He had some really good plays, but honestly, he dragged his team to that 4th game, and then dragged them, kicking and screaming, to Game 5. And then, I mean, what can you do, though? Des Moines went up 3-0. You had to come back down 3-0. It's tough. It's super tough, because you gotta get some, some form of offensive chances. Otherwise, it ain't gonna happen. So I think overall it is a good performance out of both teams because it honestly shows that Tibbles you can win. But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see what we get out of both of these teams because it should be a blast. But that was only our first series, Tibbles. We got 2 more to go. Only 2 though. We're not gonna be able to do all 4, unfortunately.
Well,
but
we can, but on my channel. Yeah.
yeah, 4th one will be on Tibbles. Is it twitch.tv/TibblesRL? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Is there? Yeah, TibblesRL. He'll have the 4th series. It'll be Rochester versus Chicago, but we'll have Senators Inferno for this one, Tibbles. But for this next one coming up, excuse me. But yeah, no. What are you looking forward to out of the series? I'm thinking it's going to be a good one. I think it'll be one of the best of the night by far. But there is some implications with one of these teams, but. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we get for sure.
Yeah, Caden's triumphant return. Had a very scary team a couple seasons ago with Volt Destroyer. And then Notice coming in as well, signed up for the season. Really excited to see him back.
I like that Burnsville team that you were about to talk about. I like Notice's team for this season. It's got good structure, really good structure. Yeah. Yeah, no, Tibbles, I appreciate it as always. Always a blast. Tibbles RL, twitch.tv/Tibbles RL for the 4th series of the night. That'll be Rochester versus the Chicago Jungle. But we're going to send it to I'll say about a 4-minute break. That's all I should need. But yeah, no, appreciate everyone stopping by for the first series. We'll see you when the next one comes up.
There's no one here but you and I. This neon town is yours and mine. I said, hey, Carissa. Stayed up through the dead of night. Made me watch the world get light. Hey, Carissa. Sunlight freedom in your eyes. Please don't leave now.
I know it's coincidental, but I'm getting kinda mental. Cause every time I'm busy, yeah, your mood goes straight south. When I try to reassemble, and you're not feeling level, but I can't be the only one that's helping you out. I didn't apply to sacrifice all of myself to you. Oh, and all of my time was wasted trying to be there to get you through. Oh, I'm working the night shift, spending all of my time helping your mind shift while I'm losing mine. Working the night shift, think I'm going blind. Cause every time you're crying, I can't see right. Clocking in till I'm all worked out. I got a psychic now, yeah, with a therapy couch. Pay you attention like I pay my rent. And when the last one sank, got a brand new tech ride. Try to give you the benefit, give you all of my credit, but I think we come to the end of it. You've been maxing it out. I don't have much to give. Oh, I'm working the night shift, spending all of my time helping your mind shift while I'm losing mine. Working the night shift, think I'm going blind. Cause every time you're crying, I can't see right. You fall asleep too fast. I hope my head don't crash. Don't think that I can last. You're supported. Sometimes I need the same. Been falling through my brain. I gave myself away. Cause I need
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some Dakota Collegiate. Hold on. That's not that's not right. All right, unfortunately, Hayden and I normally we're casting Dakota Collegiate Rocket League, but we got drafted into doing this little Midwest Championship series. Out of retirement after we both graduated, we figured, hey, we got some time to kill, so decided to yeah, we are very old now, so we decided we have to come out and help Stewie. He was begging us, so we figured we'd show up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Stewie was literally in my DMs, like on his knees, begging for us to cast. I mean, this guy is desperate, but dude, I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to help out. This is my first time casting for MCS here, so it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun, your K-Tool.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one indeed. We had our last premiere match, which I honestly thought was going to be a reverse sweep. Somehow in 5, they ended up clutching out. And I was kind of hoping for the content, but at least it does go 5 because that's really all that matters here. But as we have the premiere match coming up next, it's going to be the St. Paul Senators versus the Burnsville Inferno. And considering that this is obviously the week 1, there's not a lot of stats. There's not a lot of go off. All it is predictions. You can try to expect what's going to happen based off, the names on the sheet. But now this is when it actually all comes to fruition here.
I mean, it would really help if we knew the players, right? I mean, maybe we could make some predictions, but I mean, you and I don't really know any of these players. But the players that are going to be on stream tonight for the St. Paul Senators is going to be Nick, Crispy, and Sean. And then for the Burnsville Inferno, it is going to be Notice, Zodak, and Bomber. And like I said, K2, I don't know any of these players. So, I mean, I know it's Premier. I know these guys are going to be good, but I literally just can't go off it. I might have to make a prediction based off of the logo here or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's definitely fun to make predictions off the names. And I've casted a couple, these MCS matches, and I apologize if I call it MCS, MNCS, because that's been it for so long. But as we kind of, are wrapping up and getting into, hopefully these players will start to get into soon. It's going to be fun. I'm looking at these names right now, and I think the St. Paul Senators are going to be taking this one. I think it's going to be in 4. I think the number 1 player I'm looking at is KDN, who I've actually ended up scrimming in the past couple times, and he's a phenomenal player. And it's going to be nice to kind of sit back on this side and see how these boys do tonight.
I don't know if Cadian's playing. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's.
I know he's not. He's gonna be out tonight. Nick is subbing in, but he's with the spirit.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Burnsville will take it. I think their logo is the coolest, so I'm gonna say they're gonna take it in 5 here, K2. But looks like we're getting into it.
On logos. I respect it right off the bat. Again, this is week 1, right? So this is Premier League, obviously the best of the best. Week 1, you got, I don't want to say necessarily nerves. A lot of these players have played in this league for a very, very long time. Some of them have obviously ended up doing very, very successful in the past. But game 1, this is the first time you've been a team, on stream and everything. Who knows if there's going to be any nerves or any unfortunate own goals. But like I said, it's really, really beneficial to obviously get off to a very, very hot start going into the season, which we got a long season coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, you pictured it perfectly. I mean, one thing that we talk a lot about in DCRL, like we said, is like stream nerves, stuff like this. This might be, for all I know, some of these players' first times being on stream. I don't really know. I mean, that's a whole new aspect of Rocket League that gets added when you're in a league like this, right? It's a huge topic of debate, especially on LAN and stuff like that. But going into this one, we're already a minute down. 0-0 score between the St. Paul Senators and Burnsville Inferno here, as Bomber going to try and clear this ball out. He gets a nice touch out. Notice, follows it up, but gets 50'd by Sean right in the midfield of Zodak with a great first touch. Going to carry this one over to the blue corner, gets another touch, but Crispy's waiting patiently.
As we have a chance here, Bomber getting a little 50 there. Sean now with an unfortunate touch, going to be going back to net. We haven't really seen many shots. I'd say we're the first minute and 20 in, and we haven't even really talked about the Civic here, as Nick is rocking that one, the sub for this team. So not only kind of is the first game of the season, but unfortunately St. Paul Senators had to rely on their sub week 1. So this is a big chance for Nick to step up and maybe say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be the sub, trying to get one of those major spots here. But as we, like I said, get into this one, we're almost 2 minutes in. We haven't really seen many shots total. We're at 1 shot total for the Senators, which again, I have them winning this one. So I'm kind of waiting for the boys to step up here. So we see Flipper set attempt here coming out of Bomber. Does actually get the second one, but not really going to imagine too much into fruition here, as Crispy now going for a little bit of a ground pinch here. We're seeing just a lot of low boost plays here. And we've yet to see some really instant counterattacks, really fast play. It's very, very slow, methodical play so far.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, a lot of the times, especially in high-level gameplay, it's a feeler game, right? It's kind of feeling out how the other team's playing, seeing what kind of play style each of these players have, and I think we're getting that right now. You mentioned we have 1 total shot right now. Actually, we've had 2 since the last time you said that, but I think as this series goes on, I think it'll heat up even more and more as Nick gets a nice flick around 1, but notice patiently waits and gets a great touch, but this one bounces up into the midfield. Sean is the only person up, maybe has a double read, almost has enough boost to get over to it. Still dangerous though, as Bomber can hit this one out into the midfield. A little bit awkward here for Crispy, who doesn't make contact. Nick gonna continue on here, gets a pinch with Zodiac. Bomber ends up hitting it back into his own net, but notice handles that one perfectly. And now Crispy gonna control this one. I love that. Maybe a pass over to Nick, who can't quite get up to it soon enough. But now Sean keeping up this great pressure for his team, gonna try and continue on, but this one definitely finally gets cleared out.
Yeah, I'm looking so far. It's been a lot of the pressure going through Crispy of the Senator teams, who actually ended up winning in Season 8 last time with Duluth. So he's obviously got a chip on his shoulders. Wants to get a second win here. And I think so far he's kind of the main person I'm looking for on this team to really get the Senators in the right movement to get the first win of the season. Because that, I think, is one of the hardest things, is to just get off on the right foot, and then the dominoes will start to fall. But again, 0-0 after now, 3.5 minutes. We might be, Sean couldn't quite get the cut there. I was gonna say we might finally break this deadlock. Nick trying to get something middle, but again, just very slow, methodical play. You talked about the shots, and still only 1 single shot from Senators. Obviously still 0-0 on the board, but I'm looking for them to start to step up. Inferno's now sitting with 4 shots. Now we see a good chip to the backboard. That's going to be a decent clear going 1. Notice now waiting to turn for this one. Gets a pop over 1. He's got 30 boost to his name. Just going to be a shot on target. Should be a free clear for Nick. And again, we've yet to see really any passing plays or really threatening shots. It's just methodical back and forth, but this is a good 2v1 opportunity. This should be an open net, but Nick can't get the power on the shot. Should have been 1-0 for Senators.
Yeah, that was definitely one of their first opportunities there to strike, and unfortunately just can't quite hit the open net. It was open there was a window there definitely, but Crispy gets a nice touch into the corner. Sean was there, almost gets a read, and a great defensive touch there by Notice to put that one into his own corner as Zodak trying to get a counterattack going here. Bomber gets a nice 50 with Crispy, but has 0 boost. Can't make anything of it. Crispy has some boost in the tank. Gonna try and find this one midfield, but nobody from his team really able to get there and find that touch. Nick, though, able to make a great first touch. Almost goes for something crazy there, but 30 seconds remaining, and we are still deadlocked. Bomber makes a great touch into his own corner, but no second man pressure from his teammates here, but finally a good pop-up by Notice. Gonna put this one over to the blue side, and 17 seconds to go, K-Tool, and somebody needs to make something happen.
I'm looking at Nick. He's the only single person on the centers, pretty much who's had a shot so far. Looking to see maybe he has to be the one to step up. So we see Crispy and Bomber going out to this one. Notice should have an attempt. Going to be going off the ceiling. Can he get the reset? Drops down. Crispy probably going to want to try to kill this one. And overtime here in game 1. And again, this was just kind of an awkward game 1. Both teams trying to feel each other out. We'll see if this overtime lasts a long time, or do we get some weird kickoff goals. This is where momentum can start to build here, as we see Sean trying to muscle his way through on 0 boost, almost had that one. And again, the Senators have had the most pressure this game in its entirety. They just haven't had to have that final shot on target here, as Nick now going to be forced to rotate backside here. Crispy now going for some solo plays. Can he find it up over 1? No one challenging early. He goes for the low 50, and that's going to do it. Crispy muscles his way under the last defender to take game 1 for the Senators.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if, 4 minutes into that regulation there, I don't know if we would have, either of us would have said that Senators were going to be taking it, but they walk away with this one. And I think, if I'm being real with you, I think Inferno kind of definitely let that one get away from them a little bit, right? They had better pressure, they had more opportunities, but ultimately they weren't able to get any goals from it. So Senators walking away with game number 1 in an overtime, and so far I'm liking what I'm seeing from Inferno. I think if they can continue to play, how they're playing that game 1 and just capitalize and do that last step, which is putting the ball in the net, I think they have a good opportunity of taking a few games here.
No, I definitely think you nailed it. I think at least for the first, 2.5, 3 minutes, Inferno did have a lot of pressure. They had more shots for sure. They were keeping Senators under wraps here, but I think it was that final shot. We never really saw Senators in a really threatening position on defense. I don't want to say they were kind of relaxing, but they were able to get the boost. Their rotations weren't skewed or anything. They were able to relax in that game, get to overtime, and eventually when it mattered, put in that overtime shot to take this one. So now, as we get into game 2, this is, if you haven't heard, this is the most important game of the series, as we either see Inferno going on match point if they lose, or if Inferno win this, well, then it's just a best of 3 at this point.
That's a debatable one right there, K-Tool. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion myself.
I am dying on that hill. Game 2 is the most important in a best of 5. There's no debate. Done.
Oh, come on. I mean, if anybody else, if Urban Living was here right now, I know nobody really knows him here, but he would be, I think he'd be dying on his hill right now. But nonetheless, game number 2 underway. Senators do walk away with that game number 1. It's going to be Inferno's call now to try and answer back against that game that most likely maybe should have been theirs. Good opportunity here as Nick doesn't make the best touch out. Zodak maybe had a little bit of time, but demo does come out from Crispy. This is looking dangerous. Can Sean get there? Doesn't have the boost to try and get over top of that ball. Notice going to clear this one out off the sidewall. Gets a pop off. Crispy not able to make contact as Notice gets a great pop. Looks like Bomber's going to put this one off the backboard. Chance for Zodak. Gets a good 50, though. This is still dangerous. Notice tries to put it in, but another goal line save coming out from Sean.
We see a chance here. Sean finally able to get a clear. Bomber now trying to keep this one in the zone. Zodak now going for that. That's going to be a double commit, but no one is going to be on the end of this one. Crispy actually getting faked out by Notice, who pops it in. Nick now doesn't have a lot of boost to make a save. It's still a little dangerous. Sean finally getting this one out. He might actually be able to double this one, but Zodak with a great touch to the corner, going to relieve a lot of pressure here. Now they're on the counterattack alone. Decent pass mid. Zodak not really able to get under it in the way he wanted to. Bounces out to mid. Crispy, that's actually going to get over 1. Bomber, though, able to secure, and he clears out. It's going to be dropping mid here. Getting a bump on Sean. This drops down. Can Zodak find a touch? Unfortunately, Nick was able to get just one little bit of that Honda Civic on the end of that ball.
And a Bomber going to carry this one into the midfield. And again, K-Tool, we're getting kind of this like deadlock situation again, where both these teams are, I wouldn't say they're playing defensive by any means, but they have good opportunities, or at least last game they did, but it's just like they're not able to capitalize right at the last minute, which is like the last step of putting the ball in the net. So far, though, there really hasn't been too many scary opportunities. There has been a little bit for for the Senators, they've had a couple good opportunities defensively, but nothing really. As a couple misses do come out. This is looking dangerous. Bomber almost finds a great angle to put that one into the midfield, but can't quite do it as Zodak pops this one in the midfield. Nick, though, gets a much-needed defensive challenge there as Bomber gonna pit this one into his own end there, but no second man follow-up from him. Finally, Zodak does go and puts this ball over into the Senators' end here. Sean gonna boom this one backfield, and I'm noticing a lot more boomer ball happening, just giving away possession back and forth here between these two teams.
Yeah, the speed of play has definitely increased considering, game 1 to game 2, which again, a lot of that has been attributed to by the boomer ball. But we are also seeing just in general, a lot more players trying to go for the boost steals, trying to go for some bumps, and just going for some passing plays, which you really didn't see a lot here in game 1. So it is interesting to kind of see the speed of play increase so much, because I don't necessarily know who it's benefited. Because again, Senators at one single shot, as we're now 3 minutes into the game. This is exactly how it was in game 1. Yet still, as far as the series goes, Senators are winning.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though I honestly shouldn't have these expectations, but when I was coming into this, I was expecting a pretty high-scoring game, but really hasn't had the chance. Bomber might have had an open net, but Sean maybe would have been there to make the save. Tries to get a pass off the backboard. Notice though, gets a good pop. This could be dangerous, but Crispy makes a great touch over in the corner. Sean able to follow up on that pass and a great defensive clear. Zodak's gonna have a little bit of time and space here, but gets cut off right immediately by Nick. And now Bomber is going to put this one over into the blue corner, but Zodak trying to maybe get a pass in midfield there, but notice gets a great 50. This is going to carry into the blue side. Tries to pinch it off the backboard for a pass. Bomber puts it up above the net. Zodak is up, but Nick meets him halfway there and makes a great save.
We see potential happening here. The team pinch. Nick, though, not able to get as much power as he wanted on this one. Bomber now able to get ball and boost. It's going to be going off the ceiling, dropping down. Can he get a shot? It's down to Zodak. Can he find the pass? It was there. It was such a good opportunity. Now we're under a minute left here. Going to be bouncing all the way, relieving pressure for Senators. Inferno now. They've had more chances and more opportunities again. Just trying to find the final touch to get in the back of the net. They really need this one as they do not want to go down onto match point. Notice now with the ball again, trying to get a pinch. It's going to be going to his own back corner. Zodak now going to take it off the bounce, beating out Nick. Sean now tossing this one to the corner. Bomber again with a backflip. Little awkward on the back wall is noticed. Not a lot of boost to go for this one. Crispy dropping it down to again. He did get the OT winner in game 1. Trying to look for it here in game 2 is Nick with 0 boost again. Overtime is looning, and Inferno somehow surviving here on defense.
Yeah, I'm noticing that Crispy has kind of been that main first man for the Senators team. He's done so much to try and create those opportunities, and he's almost created a couple good ones here in this game number 2, but 10 seconds left to go. Gonna try and make something happen here. Zodak gets a nice pop up. Gonna put this one into the blue corner. This could be dangerous. Bomber goes up early and not quite able to get there. Notice gonna try and put one on net, but that one will touch, and we're gonna get yet another overtime.
That was your absolute best opportunity of the entire game, and they're gonna be kicking themselves, especially if they do lose this OT. Crispy now on the ball, who I think has been the best so far for Senators. Nick now, last man back, almost gets faked out. Can he get in front of Notice? Notice now tossing this one to the corner. Can he get the read? It's off the backboard. Is anyone there? We see a demo. Can he find the touch? Woo! He does. And Notice securing game 2 here for Inferno.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful play from Notice. He gets that great first touch. Zodak keeps the ball in play here. Notice just gets up nice and early, beats out Sean, and that one just goes straight into the net. Inferno taking game number 2. And you kind of mentioned it, where I think they probably would have been kicking themselves after that opportunity right at the end of regulation there.
Hey, they took 17 seconds, right? That's all they needed was 17 seconds to get back to this one. But one thing is just I think we are seeing more passing plays coming out of Inferno. I think there was one Notice Zodak that we thought was going to be it. Now this one was Zodak to Notice, now finally getting the winner here. And the thing I'm looking at Senators, right? Last game they had 3 shots, and only one of them came in the first 4 minutes of regulation. Now this time only down to 2. So I'm looking at Inferno. I'm seeing they're doing better passing. They've got some better rotation. And again, it's that final touch they are getting. So Senators, I'm looking for them. Do you guys have it in you to start getting passes, to maybe disrupt the rotation? We haven't seen almost any meaningful demos. That might be something we start to look into. So we'll see how it goes into game 3. But I'm looking to see if there's a bounce back from Senators, because especially with the speed up in game 2 compared to game 1, we'll see if Senators can improve on that one.
Yeah, to me, like you said before too, it's I'm seeing Senators playing a lot more passive too. Their second man aggression really just hasn't really been too present. There's a lot of a lot of balls are just going unchallenged and stuff like that. And again, it could be just a lack of experience from from this Senators team, just because of the fact that they have a sub. I mean, we don't really know how much these guys have actually played together, right? So there could be, you know, that aspect of it too. But nonetheless, game number 3 getting underway here. Series is now tied 1-1 between the Senators and Inferno, and right off the bat, Nick getting one for the Senators, and that's just a good read.
What a read off the corner. Yeah, unfortunate miss here, and then just sliding that one top shelf off the corner and in. Really nothing you can do there. And Senators, we just talked about they need to step up. They need to get something because they had 2 shots all of last game, including overtime, and they took 9 seconds to get their first shot, let alone now their first goal.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I said, the aggression just needs to up a little bit if they want. Because I mean, you can play as defensive and as passive as you want, but you still need goals at the end of the day. And I'm looking for them to just increase the pressure a little bit. And I think that might have, I don't know if that was a team save or not, but that was a good opportunity nonetheless. This one does get a good team pinch out for the Inferno here. Notice going to try and continue this attack here. Zodak almost gets a good shot, almost puts it top bins there, upper 90, but just rings it off the crossbar.
This is what I wanted to see. We're talking like, that might get going in. Can Sean get back to this one? He cannot. And notice gonna be putting in the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, just a great clear from Notice. Reads it perfectly off of Crispy's clear, and that just goes straight to the back of the net. Catches the Senators a little bit off guard there, and they strike back, get the equalizer, and I think we're starting to see the floodgates open a little bit here from both of these teams. They're getting a little bit more aggressive, and yeah, honestly good. We want more.
No one wants 0-0 going into OT back-to-back games. That's just boring, right? We want to see lots of goals. We need the clips, right? We got to get the montages in here. So we see Crispy again. He had the game 1 winner, and then it's been extremely quiet. And again, I predicted that Senators were going to win, and I might be like a Sean to Crispy connection or something. I just need to see a little bit more offensive firepower that's going to have me have a little bit of faith in these guys, because Inferno, I think, have stepped up biggest compared to game 1. And as I say that, Crispy trying to go off the ceiling. The net is open. Sean taps it in off the demos, and that's going to be the easiest goal he gets all night.
Yeah, that was just a good team-oriented play there from these guys. I don't really know what happened defensively. It was a demo, and I called. I was asking for a meaningful demo, and they got exactly that. So Senators again, existence. It's just sometimes you got the power on that one. So we'll see if again the physicality does play a part getting into later in this game 3. But at least so far, after Senators, they got a lead in 9 seconds, fought, had it tied up. They're back in the lead. As we're, again, there's so much time left in this game as we're seeing Nick, again, who's really impressed me as their sub. I don't think at all that he's been the weakest link, which, again, sometimes that is the case for a lot of these team subs. Yeah, definitely. And that kind of puts the question out there of what is the Senators team like with their top player. I believe, Stewie, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe their captain or their top player is oh my goodness gracious, Nick. What a good one.
Nick. Top player, who needs it? We called this sub. Yeah. We said he's doing amazing. 0 boost after he hits that ball. Top corner. 0 chance you're getting this one. And again, after Inferno's got that OT win, I think Senators took that personally because they have stepped up big time here. Now up by 2. I'm loving what I'm seeing here in the just considering how, I don't want to say poor game 2 was, only getting 2 shots the entire time, but yeah, Senators have stepped it up big time here. Inferno now it's up to you guys. You've been quiet after you got your type goal here. We'll see if Notice can drop it down. Bombers up for this one, tries to get it, muscle through it, might be wide open, which it is. And what is with these open nets here after just muscling their way through the defense?
I think it was kind of a triple commit there from the Senators. Man, you brought it up in the beginning of the series of you're a sub coming into play for a team, right? This is Nick's chance to really prove himself, right? And I think so far, K2, I think he's done a fantastic job of filling that spot, especially of their top player KDN. I mean, they're really bringing it to this Inferno team right now with a sub, so that really speaks volumes to the depth of the Senators team.
Ooh, Crispy gonna be dropping this one down to Sean. It's gonna be a little off target here. Nick now, it's really awkward, but he does manage to get the front of that car on there. Notice now, booming it downfield. Crispy now up early. Not gonna be able to follow that one. Calling in is Sean. Drops it down mid. Not the greatest pass, though. Crispy does die for it, though. Sean can be the first of this one. Notice Nick again shooting, just a little bit off target. Notice now taking his time. Sean again keeping this ball into a dangerous position. Inferno struggling to clear, and they just need to get boost. Bomber not able to get this one. And he ends up missing the boost. That's going to be awkward for Notice as he drops it to the corner. Sean now with a shot. It's off the backboard. Is anyone there to follow up? And you thought that that would have been another great opportunity for Senators to put it away. As this might be open the other way. Nick's got no boost. And somehow this rolls in.
Man, I don't know what happened. It looks like Notice was just going for a bump right at the end of the play right there on Sean. Did he hit the demo or the bump? I couldn't really tell from that angle, but nonetheless, it ends up working out here for this Inferno team, and they get this equalizer. Minute 38 left to go. They'll definitely be taking that one. Demo does come out though from Bomber onto Sean here, but Notice gonna go up. Maybe a pass up to Zodak, who receives it well. Almost got a good first touch, but a little bit out of his reach. Bomber though gonna follow up on this one, but ends up just giving possession away to Nick. But Bomber maintaining this ball in this blue half for so long. Crispy going for a little bit of a redirect there to keep this ball dangerous, but Bomber gonna have a free touch of his own. Gets a nice pinch off the sidewall, gonna carry this one into the blue corner over here. Crispy, though, with a great defensive touch, gonna try and get it around one. Good 50 though again, but Notice gonna have a free attempt at this ball.
It's a great dunk coming out. We'll see if Nick can get a good touch. He does. We see Demo Bomber down to mid. Can Zodak find a touch? Just a little bit too far out of his reach here. Plus doesn't have a lot of boost to go for this one. Sean now getting it around one. Can he get it around the second? Ends up missing that one. Called into action is Nick, trying to get this bounce to go his way. Notice going to be deleted for his efforts. Do we see a chance here? Crispy again trying to muscle his way through. Sean now going to be called into action. 40 seconds left. Again, do we see potential 3 out of 4 games of overtime here as Bomber makes a good touch to the corner? Again, Inferno, I think, has done so well just surviving on defense until they can get a counterattack. So we see a double commit though. This is going to be dangerous. Nick now slowing this one down, trying to go for a low 50. I like just a little bit of a change up here as we see so many shot after shot coming out from Senators. Now we see a shot again from the Inferno and save at the last second is Sean. 15 seconds left, and I'm trying to see who's going to have momentum going into OT.
Yeah, Zodak maybe gonna get something going here. Gets a touch over the sidewall, followed up nicely by Notice, but gets 50'd out by Crispy. This is still an opportunity for Zodak, who gets in midfield. Bomber was there, almost got over top of that one, and almost has the ice in his veins there. But we're K-Tool. We're gonna get another overtime here. But this one's a lot more exciting as it's a little bit higher score of a game.
Oh no. Okay, I thought for a second we were gonna have a kickoff goal. Just as you say exciting, I was gonna say that is not the way to end it. But again, whoever wins this one is gonna go on match point with momentum swinging massively in their favor. Question is, who is gonna get called into action for that final chance? Remember, you don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to get called out. No booming clears that end up going in the back of the net. Nick now up for a solo play. Can he get a reset? He can. Can he find the touch? A good challenge from Notice. Crispy now forced to leave that one. See Notice again trying to find another 50. Crispy in a little bit of an awkward spot here. That might be on target. Can Bomber find the touch? A great stop from Crispy. Again, just throwing that car up for just a Hail Mary save.
What a save by Crispy there. Keeps his team alive and avoids going down on match point here. Zodak can have an opportunity of his own. He gets a great first touch. Can he follow up? Barely misses it. Barely runs out of boost to get a double on that one. Crispy gets a nice touch around Bomber. Gonna try and get another one, but Notice reads that one perfectly. But Sean is gonna have a free touch. Goes off of the sidewall here, gets another one. Crispy does beat out one here, but ends up not going, missing the boost there, not able to get a follow-up. Bomber gonna put this one, bomb it all the way back down, but Crispy makes a defensive touch. Notice gonna put this one on net, and a diving save coming out from Nick right on the goal line there. And another shot coming from Bomber, and Zodak goes for the bump, but another goal line save by Crispy, and man, the defenses are coming out strong right now for both these teams.
We see a chance here. Who's flying out for this one? Zodak now trying to touch it to the wall. We see a good counter, but Crispy again, he's just waiting up there poaching. He knows exactly what Inferno wants to do. But you notice the speed of play in this overtime is so immaculately fast. And just like that, off a pinch demo, whatever you want to call it, that is going to end OT.
Yeah, just a good team play there. Bomber gets the demo, and it's just open for Notice. And dude, K-Tool, the difference in speed that we have seen from game 1 to this game is insane. Like, genuinely insane. I wasn't gonna say it. It was looking a little bit like pretty slow in game number 1, but you know, you mentioned it in the overtime there. Was that speed was crazy, and that is more of what I was expecting to see coming into this premiere match.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Honestly, it's been one of those things that like just you're slowly seeing it ramp up and up and up, and now especially going into I want to see game 5. I really do. But going now into this next game, we're gonna see so much increase in speed, which I love to see. We're seeing the passing plays, we're seeing demos having a much bigger effect, and I think that demos again are going to continue to have a major effect going to this next game. Because again, Inferno are now on match point, and they have absolutely brought it with 14 shots. It is not often you were seeing that many here.
Yeah, I think it was what, game 2, where I think there was 5 shots total. There was literally 5 shots total out of this whole entire match between both teams. And I mean, I know the stats aren't showing anymore, but the increase in pressure, the increase in shots, all that stuff. It's been a lot more fun to watch, that's for sure. It still was close at the end of it, right, overtime, but nonetheless, this could be it. Can Inferno close the series out in 4 games here? We're gonna quickly find out, but I gotta say it again, Nick the sub has been looking so good. I think he's been at the top of the leaderboard. I know points don't matter that much, but he's been, in my opinion,
no,
doing
points
the most.
absolutely matter, because if you're on top, if you lose, you can blame your teammates. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, okay. Is that how you operate, K-Tool?
No comment. I'm retired. So anyways, yeah, as we do get into this game 4, it is going to be on the Senators to survive and force a game 5 here. And this might be a great early chance here, but Sean going to be a little out of reach here. And again, I think a lot of it is going to be to these demo plays. We saw so much physicality coming out last game, and I think it's going to continue here. And I think, honestly, it's necessary as we're seeing these 2v1 counterattack potentials here coming on. Nick now with a shot, going to be going top shelf. And again, Nick the shooter. My God, he loves to score early in these games.
And that's just all set up by a good counterattack there from Crispy and Sean. That all created that opportunity and that opening for Nick, and he just slots that thing. I mean, that's a beautiful shot, had so much power on it, and Senators striking first here, showing a little bit of fight in them. You know, they don't want to go down in 4 here, but there's still a lot of Rocket League left to be played, as noticed. Makes a little bit of an awkward touch on the goal line, gets it over 1 though. Sean's gonna pop this one over into the corner, gets another great touch off the backboard, but nobody's there to follow it up. This might just almost just finds its way in as Crispy makes a goal line save there. Nick gonna keep this one out, puts it over to the blue wall. Or Zodak gonna try and maybe find a pass into the midfield for his teammates. But looks like Bomber's gonna corral this ball, grab the big boost. Maybe has an opportunity here, flips early, almost gets a good touch on it. But Notice gonna get another one, but has no boost in the game. And so far, this Senators team is locking things down on Lexi.
I like what I see too, but again, they got a long way to go if they do want to force a game 5. And Inferno, again, they had 14 shots last game, and I do expect them to have the offensive pressure going into this game here. They want to close it out 3-1. We'll see if Crispy can get the 0-foot elevation reset, as we see Nick now trying to go for a 0 boost double. Bomber gonna nicely clear that one away. A little awkward as Sean now trying to make a pass to Nick, and he finds it. Zodak, that is such a great touch. That is a goal-saving interference play. There's Crispy now getting a great touch to the corner. Bomber now trying to keep it in off the backboard. Sean, that's a miss there. Nick now again called into action. Zodak with a decent first touch. Bomber now not able to make the best touch for his team, trying to follow up. We almost had a double come in here. Is anyway going to be flying for this one? Notice now with a shot, but he did expect the defense to miss. Can Zodak find a touch? And again, Sean to the rescue here.
Yeah, good opportunity for Zodak. Gets a what in the world is going on? He gets a crazy redirect, almost kind of just like a jump shot there. Puts it up the lob, and all 3 members of Senators were in the net. And I don't really know how that ball goes in the net, but it does. Finds the gap there, and finds the equalizer. Finally, 3 minutes left to go in game 4.
Hey, sometimes you just got to throw the ball on target and pray to see what happens here. We'll see if we see a little bit of counter here as we see a tie game as we are now 2 minutes in. And again, so many demos here. The net is wide open, but again, you just can't predict that as third man. Is now Nick going up and over the top of 1, getting dunked out by Notice. Crispy now, he's got 0 boost. He's got to relinquish this pressure. Zodak now up and around 1. Can he get a 50 on Sean? Smartly waits, takes a 0-0-50. Crispy now going to be taking this around 1. We're seeing so much boost being stolen. We haven't seen a player with more than 20 boost at all going for these balls. Finally, Bomber picks up 100 here. Crispy now halfway through this game. Again, I'm still waiting to see anyone on the Senators team besides Nick score.
Me too. He's been kind of the main offensive-minded person as he gets a great fake around 1. Almost gets it on another, but like you said, Nick is really, I mean, his teammates Crispy and Sean have created a lot of those opportunities for him, but I mean, a good opportunity yet again here for Nick, but he just finds himself in that position so many times in this series where he's just perfectly spaced right in the midfield to get either
another pass,
ripper, and another one for Nick. Almost tries to put it on net, but put off to the side by Notice, who makes a great touch off the sidewall. Sean's gonna have a free touch though. He is backwards. Tomater hit for him, pops it up high for Zodak, but this one's just gonna go down low. Nick though gets a great 50, maybe an opportunity for Crispy. He's there, puts the shot on net, but bat away by Notice.
Ooh, this is going to be dangerous. This is when water falls down. Noticing Zodak. Now we see a double commit here. Sean now leaving this one for Crispy. Crispy trying to backflip his way to this one. This could be dangerous, though. Sean with a one-on-one situation here. He doesn't have a ton of boost. Up and over, almost. Now Crispy up. Can he find a double? Maybe a reset. Goes for the reset, but can't find the touch. We'll see who wants to get a shot here. Nick, though, this is dangerous. He popped it, unfortunately, over his teammate there. Now potential counterattack is on Zodak. Going to be throwing this one. Pretty easy to deal with is Crispy, but the boost got stolen. This one's on target, though. Sean has to bat this one away. With a minute left, Inferno are trying to close it out here in regulation.
Yeah, definitely. They don't want to go to another overtime. They want to close this one out as early as possible. Bomber gonna get a good touch around Sean here. Goes for the bump on Crispy, which would have been so deadly. But Crispy avoids it. Gets a nice touch. Still in play, though. Notice gonna try and drop this one down low. Gets it off the backboard, but good challenge there. Good backward defense by Nick. Gonna keep that one out of the play. Zodak gets a decent flick here, but Crispy is able to read this one. Gets another good touch over to the sidewall. Gets a touch over Notice. Now he's gonna try and clear this net. Get some bumps going. Sean gonna bang this one off the top of the backboard there. I can't think of the word, but 30 seconds remaining, and almost a great touch from Bomber. What a save by Nick right on the goal line.
How does that not go in? I thought that was it for sure. An immaculate save. Senator's still not out of the woods yet. Zodak now trying to just get this one. Again, Inferno do not want to go into OT. Bomber now taking his time, trying to get a flick over one. He is slow playing this one and begging anyone to dare try to challenge him. Zodak now going to be going off the backboard. We see an awkward touch from Crispy, but the ball's not up yet. Sean now just trying to force this one to OT. Notice now getting a good 50. This one's going to drop down. Bomber misses, and overtime yet again.
We have a 100% success rate on overtimes here in this series between the Senators and the Inferno. Can Senators get the dub here? Sean's going to go for a ceiling shot there. Gets a good shot, but Bomber with an even better save. Counterattack opportunity here for Zodak, who's going to get a great first touch. Can he cut? Fakes out one. Going to try and get this one into the midfield. Oh, do it! Almost gets the dunk right on the goal line.
He wants the series ender
away.
right now.
Yeah.
Series is almost on again. Inferno are on match point. They need one goal to seal it. Senators, they need to force game 5. They need to get this next goal here. So we see Nick and Crispy. That is going to be a double commit. Might be a little awkward to deal with for Notice. Crispy now probably going to be challenged this one next year. We actually see Sean called into action here. Notice just trying to rotate around his teammates. Got 100 boost. Probably going to be taking a low 50 here, which he does a great job of now with Crispy. Bomber now up and over one. Crispy now pops it high. Who's going early for this one? Crispy now just taking a shot. Actually going to be going for a pass mid, but again, in overtime, a lot of teams, they want to be passive. They're might be a little tedious in terms of how aggressive they want to be here.
Yeah, good opportunity though. 2v1 opportunities. Zodak though makes a weird touch. It goes off the post. Notice was there. Almost puts the series away right there, but so far Senator is staying alive. Sean gonna try and get a read off the sidewall. Gets a touch into the midfield. Nick is there for the follow-up. Puts it off the backboard, but Zodak makes a great touch. Bomber gonna follow this one up. Crispy needs to make a touch here, and he does. Much needed. And Zodak gonna put this one off the sidewall though. Crispy should have a good clear here. He does. Sean is waiting. A good redirect. This could be dangerous. Notice needs to get a good touch here, and he does.
That's not a great touch.
Crispy puts the shot on net, and Bomber makes a diving save.
Yeah, I was going to say, Inferno is playing with fire right now, and I don't understand, honestly, how they're surviving so far. They probably should have had it again in regulation. This should not have gone to OT in general, but yet we play on almost 2 minutes into overtime. Again, Inferno trying to close it out. Little 2v1 action here. Zodak does get the 100 boost. He's trying to stay alive. He does not want to afford to get demoed on this last man back roll here. Pass mid to Bomber. We'll see if he can go for a solo play. Just opts this, throws one to the corner. Gonna try to 50 it, but again, you're seeing the second and third man from Inferno. They are so far back.
Yeah, we talked about that, in the beginning too, and they have the match point, right? They have a game to lose. In my opinion, you should just be sending it, right? You should be getting aggressive. And this is awkward for Bomber. Puts a touch up high, and Nick, who other than the sub here for Senators, put that away, and they're gonna bring this one to game 5, ladies and gentlemen. What a good shot coming up from Nick.
Bomber is going to be kicking himself. An unfortunate touch, lobbing this one up, and Nick, again, has anyone else besides Nick scored on this team, basically besides the Crispy overtime in game 1? Because I don't legitimately think so. As we do, Hayden, we find ourselves going to game 5, which is what we want. It's all about the content, but again, oh, Inferno, you had it. The chance was there, but the immaculate saves, I don't understand how. Okay, real question. I'm just gonna stop what I'm thinking. Do we go OT in game 5? Do we want to skip like regulation at all, or what's the plan here?
We might as well just we might as well just go straight to OT at this point. We've
This
like I
just
said,
first
100%
goal
of the
wins.
games. But yeah, absolutely crazy stuff. I mean, I know Stewie is sweating in his pants right now because he's got a game at like 5:30. So you know, we're trying to get through this one. But I mean, for the content, for the good content, we want to see another OT, right? I mean, we want to
For the content, I agree. Let's just skip regulation. First goal wins. Although honestly, if we say first goal wins, we know it's going to be Nick in the first like 20 seconds because that's how it's been every single time so far. But game 5, rest of the series means absolutely nothing because the gameplay is fast as heck. We've got lots of demos, crazy saves. This is what I signed up for, to cast insane premier games like this.
Yeah, Nick has a good shot opportunity. Sean there for the follow-up, but Bomber was waiting in the net. Good opportunity right away for Senators. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing, at least from the aggression from them so far. Crispy has 0 boost, gonna try and get this one in the midfield, and he does, but notice makes a great touch out, but nobody's waiting. Sean's gonna have a free touch, puts this one back into this orange side, tries to get another touch on it. Nick maybe gets a good pass over to Crispy, and this one's gonna bounce up high. I don't know if anybody's gonna be there to follow it. Zodak has a free clear. He's gonna go into the midfield, maybe has a reset on it. Can he get the clip? And he does! What an absolute banger shot coming out from Zodak. Gets the great first touch, corrals that ball, flip reset, gets it over the last defender. Beautiful stuff coming out from Zodak.
You love to see it. That, I think, is one of those goals that, at least as far as momentum and getting them hyped to close out this series, that is an excellent goal. And of course, it always helps that the clip looks oh so good in a montage. But again, this is where Inferno, they need to keep on the pressure. This needs to be a goal right there. And again, the unfortunate shot accuracy might be something that plagues them, because Inferno could so easily be sitting up 2-0 right now. We'll see if they can convert this one. As Notice now drops this one down, and they finally do double up their lead.
Yeah, Inferno are, you know, bringing it in. I was liking what I was seeing right away from Senators, right? They were bringing the aggression. They had some good opportunities, but all of a sudden that has totally flipped around, and Inferno finding... this might be the first time we've had a 2-goal lead in this entire series. I'm not too sure on that one, but it hasn't been too often where a team has been ahead by this much. But thankfully for Senators, still a lot of Rocket League left to play here as Bomber gets this one into the blue end. Crispy
that's
makes
dangerous.
a little bit of a weird touch, but notice, can't quite get around it.
Yeah, this is really awkward for Crispy. Now Sean, last man back. He avoided the demo. Crispy now trying to keep pressure here. We'll see. Nick is mid. Can he be there for a clear? But Sean now, can he probably lobbing this one high? Which he gets. Is Crispy up for this one? No, he is not. Drops down to Soda. But that is not a good clear. Nick again trying to come through for his team. Crispy now going to try to get this one mid, but a little bit of an awkward bounce. Sean now coming in for a shot and a ripper. What it is from Sean.
Just a beautiful slot there. Crispy kind of starts that one, gets it off the sidewall, and I don't think Zodak or Notice really knew what was happening there. Not sure when or where to go, and Sean just slots that one upper 90, almost gets it bar down, and brings this one back within 1. And it's definitely more possible than it was a couple seconds ago. But Notice gets a good pop. Crispy should be able to get back and puts this one back into the corner.
It's a great demos. Little awkward backflip as we see more demos galore. Sean now going to be a little bit of an awkward situation here as he gets a fake around 1. Crispy now popping over another. Does he have enough boost? Can he actually turn this around? Sodak now getting a good touch. Nick now going to pass it mid. Counterattack is there. Can Sodak get the touch? He cannot. Crispy, again, such a good disruptor in this series. As this one goes straight up, straight down. Nick now trying to get a shot off the backboard. Great demo. Is that on target? It is not. Sean, again, the demo potential's coming out, but unfortunately, Senators just can't close it out.
Yeah, so many good opportunities. Another one here for Zodak. Almost gets the fake on Nick, but he makes some much needed contact there to keep that ball out of his own net. Gets a good clear, maybe over to Crispy or maybe to Sean more of. Gets a good 50 here, gets another good 50. Could be an opportunity, but Zodak makes a great touch there. This is a 1v1 situation. Bomber tries to get it over the last defender there, can't quite do it as Crispy makes a great defensive save. 2 minutes left to go, and Senators holding on to this one so far here, K-Tool.
Sean not going to have lots of time on this one, but opts to go in an awkward upside down way, which does cause a double commit here. Now potential counterattack here. Can Bomber get a good 50? This does pop high. Crispy again. He has been the MVP in disruption, I think, this game. Just making sure no passes come through, no anything between him and Sean getting the demos. Like, that is how the Senator team is finding these goals. And then, of course, Nick is the actual one putting it in the back of the net, as that might be 3. Sean with the whiff. Is anyone there to follow up? And that should be 3, which it is. And again, back to a 2-goal lead for Inferno.
Yeah, they're keeping this one close. Definitely Bomber had an opportunity there. Sean just throwing his car up there. can't quite get to it, and Zodak puts that one away. And Zodak, for me, has been the MVP so far in this game number 5. You know, gets that crazy clip earlier and puts that one away for the tap in. And oh, dangerous Nick right off the kickoff. They answer back immediately. And again, we go back. Has anybody other than Nick really been scoring for the Senators team? Because I don't really know.
I cannot wait for these ball chasing stats because this man just seems to not miss. But as we do get into this one, I don't even know what to say at this point. This is just chaotic, and I'm all for it. And I really, really hope to God we get another overtime and go 5 for 5.
Yeah. It'll be unfortunate for the team after us because I think they're probably itching to play too. But nonetheless, Zodak gonna try and maintain this lead. Gets a pop over to the sidewall. Gets a good read right around Nick. Sean needs to make contact here, and he does. It's still dangerous though, but Crispy able to get up to this one. He might have another touch on it, but looks like Nick had other ideas. Puts this one. Looks like Sean's gonna have to make a touch here. This one's awkward. Bomber's gonna have a free touch. Puts it off the backboard. It's gonna be dangerous. Zodak not able to get up early enough to get over that last defender. And a minute left to go here, and the Senators are gonna need something here to get this one back within reach.
What a touch here. Nick now again called into action. We see Crispy and Sean actually awkwardly double committing for that one. That didn't seem to even be a threat at all. Again, another double commit. Senators are falling apart on defense. Again, they are down for one of the first times in this series, at least here in game 5, as we see a potential demo here. Is that going to be on target? And who else but Nick? Every time.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand. This is the sub, right? I mean, no hate to Nick, but like, dude, this guy, he has to have over 90% of the Senators' goals. And I mean, we're not going to totally write off Crispy and Sean because they're definitely, you know,
again,
they're setting them up for the goals.
Plays.
But
you saw Crispy get the demo to make it a wide open net. It just so happens that every goal has fallen to Nick. But again, the pure disruption of his teammates has been immaculate tonight. And again, we are 15 seconds away from another overtime.
We will see it here. Crispy gets a good pop, has some boost to follow up here, but gets shut down by Bomber right in the midfield.
Oh,
Notice,
no.
Does he do it? Oh, goes for a fake. Nick makes a touch in the midfield here. Maybe one last opportunity here. Sean makes a great defensive touch there. That one is going to touch the grass, and we are going to go to an overtime for every single game here in this series.
I don't even know what to say. I don't think anyone has momentum. I don't know what to expect at this point. I'm just here for a good time. Sean now trying to get a touch here. Drops it down. Zodak going to get a 50 here. Potential. Is anyone there to follow up? No, they are not. This is going to be going off the ceiling. We'll see who's first at this one. Nick trying to shoot it down. Maybe Sean didn't want to shoot that one. He knew it was going to get blocked. Might be a little back pass. He does get a good box out on Bomber. Now we see just awkwardness. Again, we're going to see how aggressive do teams want to be in overtime versus how passive do they leave their second and third man back.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. But Nick, can he do it? Put the ice in his veins. Maybe had a double tap opportunity there. But Notice was on the backboard waiting patiently. Bomber, a little bit awkward here. Notice does make a great touch on the backboard, though, to keep control here. Gets another good 50 on Nick. And Notice putting in some work right now defensively. But this is going to be a free touch for Crispy. Looks like Nick, unfortunately, side flipped for that one. Maybe an opportunity missed there as Sean gets beat out by Notice. This ball's finding its way back into the Senators. Right now, Senators have so much good pressure, but a demo does come out on the back line. But Sean comes diving in and saves the day for the Senators.
Notice now, last man back, gets a great touch to the corner. Bomber now taking his time. He wants to find a 50 here. Takes one on Nick, gets another one on Sean. This one does bounce mid. Zodak now not a lot of boost to get this one mid. The shot is on target. Crispy now with a good save. Nick now not gonna be able to get first to that man as this one does bounce mid. Bomber now trying to find a demo. We see a double commit though. This might be dangerous for a split second. Notice now off the corners. Anyone there? Again, you're seeing the second and third man of Inferno being extremely passive here.
Yeah, I keep thinking like, you know, maybe there's some nerves coming out, but then I look over at the cams and I don't know, Nick just looks calm, cool, and collected. He has all series. So maybe just, you know, has the ice in his veins. We'll see if he can get it here. Crispy with an opportunity, but shut down right away by Notice. Bomber going to carry this one out. Nick is up early, though. He's going to be able to make contact. Over to Sean. He gets a good pop-up. Has a follow-up. Going to let that one drop down low. An opportunity. A little bit of a missed opportunity there as Bomber gets a nice clear out. This one's in the midfield, though. Still Sean maybe with a pass over to Nick, but shut down by Notice and a demo on the back line. This is open.
This is open.
Can anybody get there? And it's Notice, and he puts it away and shuts down all of this momentum by Senators. And looks like Inferno's going to walk away in a crazy, crazy series.
The demos reign supreme. Back to back to back to back to back overtimes. What an immaculate series here between everyone here in this lobby. This was such an insane game. And Inferno, regardless of what happens, they take the win at the end of the day here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and if you're Senators, you should be proud, right? I mentioned it earlier. The depth of this team seems amazing, right? I mean, Nick is the replacement for what should be the highest ranked player on this team, and they almost take Inferno down, who's on their full roster. So no discredit to Inferno for taking the win, but if you're Senators, your takeaway definitely shouldn't be too bad there. I mean, you walk away with almost taking on a team with your sub, with your top ranked player missing. You definitely got to be happy with that one. Both teams played absolutely fantastic, and it was a blast to cast. I mean, it really was great series all around, K-Tool, and I mean, I hope this next series is just as good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know if the next series is gonna happen, but we'll get to there. But first of all, we have to shout out Nick, right? Like, I was here for the storyline. We thought it was gonna happen. The score potentially clutching in, game 5, just a cherry on top. But in the end, again, the demos reign supreme. And I want to know between games 4 and 5 how many goals were scored solely based off these demos. And again, at the end of the day, Inferno clutched it out, and you got to give a huge props to them, especially just in the back and forth. Like, games 1 and 2 between these two teams are not even close to the same level between games 4 and 5. Like, the step up from both these teams was extremely fun to watch from our side.
Yeah, I mean, that progression was great, right? I mean, it's week number 1. I'm going to be more invested for sure. In MCS, I'm going to try and cast more often. And, just even the progression mid-series was, like you said, fun to watch, especially Nick. This guy was just shooting lights out, all day long. He was kind of my star player of this series. I mean, hopefully, I don't know how this works in MCS, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if he'll be playing, in Challenger or if he's purely on this team. I don't know how that stuff works, but, I'll be keeping
That's all right. You're just here to look pretty, so that we don't ask you for your brain. But regardless, though, unfortunately, according to my inside sources, the next game unfortunately is not going to happen on stream, as it looks like one of the players has a meeting at 5 o'clock. So unless we wanted to do first goal wins for all 3 games, unfortunately, it's not going to happen here. But that's why we gave you guys 5 overtimes in a row, right? We're trying to do this. If we can't have a second series, at least we're giving you content for the first one.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun, K-Tool. I mean, this is my first time casting here on MCS, and it definitely didn't miss. I mean, five overtimes is so crazy. I'm starting to love, seeing all this action happening, and it's going to be a blast to, learn, more about these players and seeing all the storylines and all that stuff start to progress. So unfortunately, like K-Tool said, that the next series won't be happening, but looks like you have a friend there, K-Tool, joining you.
Yeah, he's been bugging me all series at my feet. He tried jumping on the chair earlier, so now he's just bugging me for attention. But like we said, unfortunately, the next series is not going to be happening. So that is going to be it for the series tonight. World, appreciate you casting with me. Appreciate everyone for all the production side. Appreciate the players giving us the content, because my God, that was a fun one to cast. Appreciate everyone who has shown up in chat. Honestly, we do this so much for you guys, so we appreciate everyone inviting us on and all that. Make sure you guys are subscribed, blah blah blah, all the socials, blah blah blah. But appreciate everyone. That is going to do it for us tonight, so take care, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Boy.